Well, hello, my YouTube friends. I wish I had set a dramatic aria from an opera, like a music introduction, to present you that knife, because that's exactly what it needs. Some dramatic music just to present the awesomeness that you have in front of you. And I hope really, literally, really hope that I'm not gonna mess in my review of the day, because I have been waiting for years and years and years to find the right LOCHSA for me. Most of the time I've been a little bit bored by the design. I mean, that maker, Scott Cook, makes one design and he made it to perfection, but I mean, most of the pieces I've seen to date were exceptional knives, but a little bit boring for me. So I was waiting like for the right one, and in my better dreams, I couldn't have pictured a better one than this one. Scott thought about it for me and made it come to life some years ago, and then it went like a lot of great knives in some private collection. That was not, so we didn't have the chance to, I've never seen that knife. I mean, I literally saw it like some days ago when I purchased it. I put my gloves in the, sorry about that. When I purchased it, I've never seen that knife. If I had, I would have like chased it like crazy. So luckily, it became available on the public forum, and I immediately jumped on it, because that, I mean, drove me crazy like nothing. And I'm gonna try to review that knife and set the emotion aside a little bit, or let them be, I don't know. I think it's better to let my emotion grow. That's what makes my channel a little bit different than the others. Whatever. A word about Scott Cook, for those of you who don't know him. He's been making knives now for quite a while. He started in the early 90s, and by the mid-90s, I want to say mid-90s probably, he became a foreman for CRK knives, Chris Reeve knives, okay? And you can tell, I mean, of course, there's a lot of influence of the Sebenza in the design when you look at this knife, and it's been a subject of threads for quite a while. So he's been working there for years. So of course, you have some influence, whether it's his influence on the design or Chris Reeves' influence on the design. Who the hell cares? Chris Reeves is the top tier production company based in the US. They're based in Idaho, where actually Scott Cook lives. And okay, so those are, one is a production brand, and then after that you have a tremendous custom maker that is making knives only by hand. This is a fully 100% handcrafted knife, so it's totally different than what you can see, of course, in the production. I don't need to extend on the matter, but the design, to put the elephant out of the room, the design is inspired in the idea of, it is inspired by Chris Reeves, of course, but man, what an exceptional design. I mean, if you can get a 100% handcraft knife based on the design of the best knife of the production, I mean, what better way to get a great custom knife? I'm losing my words because my daughter is on the other room setting some music, and I cannot concentrate on what I do, but I will try to keep it on. Now, let's start the review of this knife, shall we? Aside from having a design that looks a bit like Sebenza and having a custom, Scott Cook decided to make knives as integral. So he may have some fixed blades, some like hunting knives or whatever, but he's like most acclaimed design, and the thing that he does the most for years and years and decades almost now is the LOCHSA. So that's his like main design. Whenever you think of Scott Cook, you're gonna think of the LOCHSA, and that's incredible, because when you think about that, what maker just made, I mean, there is no one in the industry that can sustain for years like that with just one design, perfected and came out to perfection. And this is just crazy. He's unique in that matter, okay? So he decided to make an integral, and he had Michael Raymond, I think, as he was micro mentor. But aside from those two guys, there is no one in the industry that makes integral knives with such a degree of perfection, such refinement than those two guys. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. So now let's start the review with the handle. So basically, all his knives will be integral. So that's what become boring at the end of the day. Having one design, one integral. So it's a one piece of titanium most of the time. So in order for it to step aside of boredom, you need to do something on your handle, which it doesn't do that often. Most of the time you're gonna have at least, mercifully, some incredible contouring, because this is what you get on all his knives. But aside from that, when you get like a full titanium frame, there's not much room, to fight boredom. That's why this one is just incredible for me, because he did some work of pressing, some work of inlaying, some work of different, finishes, some stippling there, some work of carving. This is why this one is really, really particular. Look at that, even the carving here on the lock. I'm going to review that. So this is why this one became really special. First of all, it's a full Damascus, and from Scott Cook's mouth, words himself, he didn't do that much of full Damascus. I mean, maybe there's like 3-4 of them out there, but not much. And the fact that he includes all this work there is just incredible. So now let's start the review of this knife. We have this full Damascus frame, which is with a pattern that I absolutely adore. I don't know the name of this pattern, but man, I'm done with all those random patterns, that we have on the Damascus. Those linear patterns like that are so great, and it breaks the line of the knife. That is, I've seen some makers take the pattern that has vertical lines like that. It follows the flow of the knife. That's fine, but I like when it's breaking like that and a little bit oblique. Absolutely adore this pattern, and I adore the colors on it. I'm a blue guy. I love those blue, darker blue and lighter blue. This knife is made for me, my friend. Most definitely. So pattern is beautiful and beautifully executed. Just fantastic. Now let's stay here, because there are on each side there is something to say. Now you have the work of inlaying. Man, those inlays are insane. Of course, mother of pearl. And check that. They are inlaid in the curvature here of the knife. And this is something that is plain. And in order to inlay that, and I'm telling you right now, you can tell by the video, it is absolutely flawless. And to inlay that in that curvature and make that kind of inlay is just insane. This one also is on the curvature. As you can see here, is concave. You have this inlay, absolutely flawless. This one is more on the flat side. Good for him. Less work, maybe. And the little one here is on the curvature too. Absolutely phenomenal, unmatched. It is unparalleled. I mean, you can do something maybe as equally. I mean, art maker will do something like that, but it's pure artistry. The artistry of matching those materials is just insane to begin with, but how he did it and how perfect it is, and in those conditions, is just totally insane for me. Insane. Now, he took some ball detent. Maybe they're ceramic, maybe they're not, who cares? Those are ball detents, and here you have a work of pressing. It's pressed inside the handle. Look at that, how beautiful it is. Now on the pivot, of course, you have also an inlay of mother of pearl that looks absolutely gorgeous. Check that, my friends. Here, also, one bolt that is pressed. It reminds a little bit of a screw, it's here and here too. Here, now let's start with this side now. Sorry about that, I'm totally out of the place, but who cares? On this side, mercifully, thank whatever power out there compelled him to not put his horrible clips. Man, that guy is doing just a crazy knife, and he's using those bent clips that are so ugly. This knife is not meant to be in the pocket. This is an art knife. It's a tactical knife, of course, also, but with this finish, you don't want to set that in your pocket, okay? So mercifully, Thank you, Scott. You didn't put an ugly clip, because if you want, even if you want to take it out, you will still have the screws and the holes of the screws, and that would be really unfortunate. So he didn't put a clip on, man. I'm so happy with that. But he put it, that kind of work of carving here. Look how beautiful it is. And it is supposed to represent a comet, you know. So you have the bolt that is pressed here, and it looks like a comet, but also, not only does it look like a comet, because it was the theme of his knife, but it looks like a clip, you know, like an art clip. It's designed to look like a clip with the screw here and, you know, this artsy part of the clip. So you have a clip that is actually looking beautiful, carved, and no clip, no bend clip, horrible. Oh man, this is just insane. He also took some time to carve, to mill the inside of the lock. Check that. How insane is that? The work that is involved in that knife is just crazy, crazy. It's looking so beautiful. And here also the custom pivot, check that. With the work of carving here and another comet here. You have the comet, it looks really like a comet, this one. Check how beautiful is that custom tip. Insane. On the side here, on the edge, he went for a satin finish. Absolutely phenomenal. It brings also some contrast and some work, a lot of work here, also involved here in the construction of that knife. And on the back, as well as on this side, he went for this kind of eggshell finish that is absolutely not the same finish. This is satin, and this is kind of eggshell finish here. Check how beautiful it is. And that contouring, this is something that drives me crazy. The evenness of that knife, when you look at it from this side, check that. This is something that I reviewed already with other LOCHSA. Check how beautiful. It's one piece of Damascus here, or titanium, whatever. It has all the same curvature. Boom, like that. Boom, like that. You don't have the cut on the outside. You have the cut on the inside, which is so beautiful. And for the evenness, this is useless, okay, to put that. It's useless as a functionality, but it's just perfect because it is even. When you look at it, it's even here. Blade is centered perfectly. Even here with the cut. Even here with the contouring. You don't have the clip, so it doesn't bring any kind of non-evenness. This is something that I wish at the start that I had the other one for the evenness, the other thumb stud, but let's take a second to discuss about that. That was the only concern that I had, that it didn't have the dual thumb stud for the evenness, because I love this evenness. Now check this Damascus one. You have the double finish here also on the Damascus thumb stud, which is beautiful. But then on the other side, eventually I like it better with one. Why? Because you have this flawless, look at that, you have the pattern here with the lines here that are absolutely flawless and follows perfectly the line of the blade. So eventually the non-evenness on this side is just saved by that beautiful aspect that we have here, that is just how he inserted that thumb stud here. It, to me, baffles me. Just crazy. Love it. Now, a word about the blade. It's always the same, and I like the fact that it's not a Damascus, because you can appreciate the hand rub that he does, which is really nice, and the grind. So for me, there is already enough going on here. Mercifully also, he didn't want to go with Damascus or crazy blade. You just have the touch of the Damascus here, thumb stud, and that's it. So for me, that was the perfect match to get this beautiful hand rub blade with this fantastic grind. Fantastic. I mean, overall, the design of the LOCHSA is so beautiful. And just in a knife like this one, with this combo, with this finish, man, I can name only a couple of knives that brought me so many, feelings when I got them first in hands. This one is really one of the top 3 knives that I ever had the chance to get in my hands. I am so humbled and honored to be now the host of this one, and so happy that eventually it went, like I said, in the public forum. And for me, you know that I like to, share my knives with you. So yeah, it brings me the possibility to share that beautiful knife with you, my friends, at least for the ones that are still able to to watch my videos after the crazy new YouTube algorithm. You can send a link to your friends in order for them to appreciate this beautiful knife, because this is something that every knife collector should be able to appreciate. And with that being said, my friend, I will leave it at that. For me, it was really a great opportunity to make that video, and I hope that you liked it. Bye bye, my friends.